Best intro yet, I think. Just let me get the volume here. There we go. That should be good. As you can see, I'm still a little bit hoarse. And I just decided I should pop on and say hello so you don't think I died or anything. And I don't have any kind of podcast planned or anything, and I think I'm just gonna pop in and pop out and say hello. I will say this. From my perspective, it's almost getting bloody ridiculous, the degree to which craziness is going off and people are just behaving poorly. I don't know how else to say it. I know that's such a lame way of describing something. Oh, they're behaving poorly. The hell does that even mean in context to what we see going on in the world today? The lines of tension could not be drawn any more taut. The level of stress now in almost every encounter in life. I mean, not here where I live, not here where I live, but almost everywhere in life now. There is this incredible tension. It just keeps racking up and racking up and racking up. It's like, when you used to listen to music when you were younger, and your parents would come into the room and you'd have it on some stereo system you piped in a year's worth of paper route money into, like absurdly loud. And you're just listening to your music blaring. And your mother or your father says, you're gonna damage your ears if you keep doing that. It's kind of like that. Like we're all kind of like just turning the knob up slowly to see at what point we might have a piercing pain in our ears. Have you guys seen this thing in New York now? They're seriously considering electing what is ostensibly an Arabic communist as mayor of New York City. Yeah, I mean, when you look at all of this insanity now, the question becomes, how in the world is the United States going to stitch this together? Okay? And how did such a beautiful and good thing that was the United States, how did it get this rotten? How did it get this far gone? How did it get this divided? Okay? Is it a product of social engineering? Is it a natural consequence of an unregulated, free will-driven, absolute maximalist expression of individuality and freedom? A kind of perverse echo off the 119th wall of the Grand Canyon of American history? Freedom, freedom, free. Is this the echo of that original cry 250 years ago? Now sounding like the war cry of a barbarian cannibal pygmy? What is freedom anymore? That's an interesting question right there. What the hell is freedom? Have you ever stopped to think that the definition of freedom we're still operating off of is the emancipation from European aristocracy? That's what we called freedom. Well, not in Canada. We've never been free in Canada. They just took them a long time to catch you. Like the Mad Trapper. Have you guys, they made a movie out of that in the 70s with Charles Bronson. True story. was this dude in the Yukon. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police wanted him. He's a master bushman. It took them years to catch the guy. The largest manhunt in Canadian history at that time. But what the hell is freedom now? That's the question. Okay? My money, hands down, the best definition I've heard is not my own. And part of being a really good member of your zeitgeist, your time and your place, is testifying honestly when you come across something that's authentic. And you go, yeah, that nailed it. I didn't say it. Somebody else said that. But that perfectly nails what's going on now and what the modern definition of freedom is. And here, of course, I'm referring to Jimmy Jean of Into the Microcosm. And he coined an expression about 1.5 or 2 years ago. He saw all this stuff coming. And he said, the only liberty left to defend is cognitive liberty. Because they are at the gates of consciousness now. Okay? They're at the gates of consciousness. What does that mean? Well, I mean, if we were to keep on the trajectory we're on now, with all of the frequency work they've been studying, the electromagnetic work, the work on the human brain. I'm not talking publicly available research. I'm talking the real shit, the DARPA shit. Because it all started focusing on consciousness after World War II. By the way, that's why weaponry hasn't advanced that much. Okay? There's been no significant advancements in weaponry. We still do the same thing now, just more effectively. It's like iPhone 5 versus iPhone 17. One looks like an antique, and the other one looks like you're holding a little bit of the future in your hand today. But they're the same thing. They do the same thing. And so the military economy has not evolved beyond boom, boom, bang, bang in 120 years. Okay? And I know it may seem like all of these missiles and everything are really fantastic, but the problem with these missiles is they're unbelievably expensive. Okay? You can maybe take out some dude whose own people don't like him with 30 or 40 of these missiles in key places in and around presidential palaces and stuff. But you would, undoubtedly, you would kill civilians. But if the country wasn't suitably armed and suitably motivated to fight, that would be enough to put them down, to put the rebellion down, and for Longshanks to walk in and have his ring kissed. That's a king of England from the 1200s, the fucker who stomped on Scotland. And now we have this president who was elected on a peace mandate, who's about to just kick off. Like, you just don't know with this guy. I think, like, being crazy is part of his thing. Saying the craziest shit is part of his leadership style. You don't know. You never know what the hell Donald J. Trump's going to do. Right? I see these memes on X of these fighter jets stopping in midair. You know, and they're using reverse thrusters on the bottom of the plane. They're literally going 800 miles an hour in one direction, skid like a hockey skater skidding, and then turn around and go in the other direction. And the caption on the little video on X is, Are you ready for us, Nigeria? How is this a fucking Nigerian problem? Right? Because Nigeria is killing Christians? It's fucking insane. And then you come down to my end of the world, fucking Venezuela. And it looks like Colombia might stand with Venezuela. You never know till the shit starts. A lot of people will beat their chest. I'm in this fight, you know. Bruce McDonald standing with the Dead Rabbits, Gangs of New York, you know. A lot of people will show up for the fight, you know. Because not every fight kicks off. A lot of them are just, you show up with your numbers, the other people show up, and they kind of stare each other down, and some kind of moment happens and they avoid the immediate conflict. It happens, right? But it just doesn't make any sense, you know. So I don't have a lot to say tonight, and I don't really quite have the voice yet, or really the state of mind to podcast. Okay, and by state of mind, I mean I haven't been properly cultivating myself for the last week or so. You know, a little bit. You know, a little bit is like an hour of meditation a day. Properly cultivating myself is 2 to 4 hours of meditation a day. That's where I get those really good podcasts. They just float over from the spirit world, the world of spirit. And they're beautiful. Tonight it's not so beautiful. I'm a little bit angry. I'm a little bit caustic. I'm a little bit capable of saying anything at any moment, really. But this Venezuela thing, I mean, I'll give you my take, okay? This is what I think's going on. I think they settled everything. And there's three pivot points here, okay? Number 1 is China, number 2 is Russia, and number 3 is the United States. Now, each of those pivot points has a number of satellites around it, and some of the satellites around it orbit other pivots in the trilogy, in the Trinity. So India will orbit China and work with China on certain economic projects. Orbit Russia and work with Russia on certain projects, like they'll buy Russia's oil because they need oil, right? And they'll orbit the United States and continue to service Silicon Valley with the cut and paste coding sweatshops in Bangalore and other parts of India. That will do the same job as the Silicon Valley guy for 25 cents on the dollar. And all done from some remote office that's 128 degrees in the shade with no air conditioning. And somehow they managed to keep the computers going and get the code kicked back to the servers in the United States. So it's weird. But what I think happened is this. I think they're settling on regional dominance. Okay? So I think that it's become abundantly clear. I don't think the combined military forces of Europe could take out Russia. Maybe, if Germany focused on military, did nothing but military production for 3 years and built up an arsenal. Okay? But where are they going to get the economy to do that? They don't have the reserves. Right? They're not even done paying the Jews back yet for the Holocaust. They're still paying reparations. I was reading a story in the newspaper the other day. It was the Jerusalem Post. And some old lady died at the age of 94, and she was a survivor of the German concentration camps. I don't say Holocaust because I don't think 6 million Jews were incinerated, gassed, and I'm gonna become much more adamant about telling the truth now on the Talamanca Review, because I think the truth is really important. Now, in bygone times, I would hold back a little bit because I don't want to hurt people's feelings. Okay? I don't want to hurt Jewish people's feelings who believe their grandmother, their mother, and their rabbi when those people tell them the Holocaust happened. But they haven't really looked at it. They're just, but I don't want to hurt their feelings because it's real to them. They believe it. Anything you believe is real until you stop believing it. Right? In the Enlightenment community, or something like it, they say that reality begins when all belief is over. Right? So there's kind of weird. But anyways, I was reading in the Jerusalem Post that this 94-year-old concentration camp survivor died, and her adult children did not report her death because she was bringing in like about $9,000 US a month between various pensions she was getting, including a survivor pension from Germany that was like $5,500 US a month, and the family was living off Granny's concentration camp survivor pension. And to their credit, the Israelis arrested them, and they're charging them, which only in a time like this could that pass for comedy. That's how dark the world is now, that the story I just told could pass for comedy. You see where Russell Crowe is coming out with another Nuremberg movie. He's playing Goebbels, right? He's doing the interview circuit now. You notice how they sneak in a big Holocaust movie just when you're about to fucking forget. Just when it's a genre now, like fucking Freddy Krueger. Halloween, Freddy Krueger, Predator, the Holocaust, some of the best franchises in Hollywood. It's fucking ridiculous. But here's what I think is going on, and then I'm going to get off. I'm just going to do 20 minutes tonight. Europe is going to be run by Russia. Okay, these fucking catamites aren't going to fight that guy on Putin, Starmer and Macron and all these fucking tickle me deep in my bowels with your long penis lover boy leaders are not going to get shit done. You know one thing the ancient Romans and the ancient Greeks and everybody in the ancient world knew? Never give war command to a catamite. Catamite being somebody who takes a dick in the ass. The catamite is the receiver, the female. The pederast is the pounder, the bull. Right? Never put a catamite in charge of anything to do with war, any command position. Okay? Everybody knew this in the ancient world. Everybody knew this. And they weren't really catamites even. Okay? They weren't even really catamites. And a lot of that Greek stuff and everything, what they would do is just slide the penis between the two thighs of the boy and rub one out, like using a woman's breast is another way of doing it. I don't mean to be graphic. I don't know why I'm so filthy tonight, but that is what a lot of this stuff was in the ancient world. It wasn't actually what they're doing today. So Russia's going to get Europe. China's going to be sort of left in charge of Asia, and they will work with the Japanese. But they're going to get Taiwan, and America is getting the continent of America, from Argentina to Canada. Okay? And that's how these three parts of the world are going to be brought together economically. They're going to be brought together with strongmen. Okay, the age of this liberal cooperative nonsense is over. The globalists are losing patience. You see, they're both the same thing. The guy on the left and the guy on the right, they pretend to hate each other, Chuck Schumer and Donald Trump, and they're operating on the same mission, okay? And the mission is to catalyze sufficient chaotic momentum to initiate the kind of change that they want over the next 20 or 30 years, which is radical. It's an entirely new way of existing. With the, I don't even know what to call it. It's not quite communist. It's not quite capitalist. I don't know where meritocracy fits into it. I don't know where talent fits into it. I don't know where anything fits into it. I don't know where your cognitive liberty fits into it. I don't know where your traditional freedom fits into it. You want to know what my definition of freedom is in 2025? A jungle. The only freedom left in the world is the wildest parts that nobody else wants to live in. That's the only place you're going to be left alone. Okay? You heard it here first. Here we're entering into the strongman phase of history. This is just a quick hello. I'll get back to podcasting pretty soon. Peace out. I'm Bruce McDonald. This has been the Talent Maker Review.